a Trinidad and Tobago, world by extension, wherever this video reach you. The time is 10:21 a.m., so I just want to say good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Watch that weather. Let's say adverse weather for the weekend, and we've seen it. But I want to touch on something, and it's something that I've been saying for the longest while, for years, and for some reason, people don't listen and they don't understand. And I'm going to make this video quite clear. I am only responsible for what I say, not for what you understand or for what you think I'm saying. I'm saying it clear. So I've been saying years, politicians are there as just window dressings. They may not know that they are before they enter parliament, but they would know that they are when they enter government. Understand clearly what I said? The reason why I said that is because they have good intentions, really have good intentions, or when they get into parliament to see about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I have no doubt about that. They have the intentions. However, when you're going to parliament, things change. They now have to go under the law that governs them. Hence the reason you always see them doing this and a set of foolishness with their hand. They have to represent where they now belong. When they get in there and they sign the dotted line, the whole status quo changes. They are no longer going to serve you, but they are going to serve the hierarchies or the people that run the system, which is the government and the country. The prime minister, be it the male or the female or the in-between, does not run the country. They are just the spokesperson. Am I clear so far? The reason why I'm saying this and make this categorically clear is because that just recently, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad said she's going to repeal the property tax. That's gone. And one of her ministers, the one that cared, which is Mr. Davendranath Tancoo, or that is not his name, but Mr. Tancoo, he genuinely said out of his heart, as the finance minister, we are going to give you a refund. Now, he genuinely believed that. Don't vex with the man, no. He genuinely believed that he's going to give the refund. But then the prime minister rests the brakes on him and like, hold up, wait a minute, bro. You can't say that. That is not how things work here. You have to wait for instructions and listen to the Prime Minister before you say anything. If I didn't say it, you can't do it. Listen again. Back to the beginning of the video. They genuinely believe that when they leave the streets and go into government and go into parliament, they genuinely believe that they are going to help. But when they reach there and they sign on the dotted line, it is not that anymore. So that is why I've been telling people for years. Now that they ban my page, and all I do is speak the facts, and somebody is still going to come in this comment section and talk about Rowley. Take my bet on that one here. Or for the past 10 years. This video have absolutely nothing to do with that. So when they get in there, they are stopped and they are given a script now to go by because the Prime Minister herself, she is the person who have to tell you yay or nay. And if she does not say that, you cannot function. If she does not get in for the go-ahead from the bosses, it cannot be done. Yeah? So, in the interim, This is how the parliament and this is how the government work. Oh, also, I want to tell people one time and clear the air on this foolish narrative that this brainwash hand me up or hand me down foolishness that Trinbagonians speak. Hear the dotishness. If you don't vote, it's two. Here, if you don't vote, if the automatic vote goes to the ruling party. So how PNMN win and the majority of people stay home? And if you don't vote, you have no say. But I have a national ID card. I belong to Trinidad and Tobago and I have a driver's permit and a passport. So what shit you're talking? Or they need to stop talk shit and start to understand how things work. So they don't understand how things work. That is a stupid narrative. If the people who stay home from voting goes to the ruling party, then it would have been a landslide victory for the PNM. So all they need to get that dotishness out of all your brain and all your psyche. Take that stupid downloaded information out of your brain now. And guess what? Next 5 years, you're going to be still saying the same shit. Get that out of your brain. Once and for all. It does not work like that. Right? So, my page, Let's Talk with Ola, was banned. Okay. What's new? Philip Alexander was PEP, now he's UNC. Okay. What's new? This goes to show that nothing stops. Everything continues. I will continue doing my videos and saying what's on my mind. My videos are free speech. No matter if you feel that you got my page banned, you win. You ain't win nothing because I don't use my page to monetize. I just give free speech and what's on my mind. As people say, if you don't like what I'm saying, unfollow me, block me, or just scroll your ass past. That is it.
Let's start with some context. Minutes after being sworn in as Finance Minister on May 3rd, Davendranath Tancoo was asked what's to become of those who already paid property taxes if in fact the incoming government plans to repeal the law.
I think it's logical that those persons will have to be refunded.
Fast forward under 2 weeks later and the Prime Minister is saying something else.
And refunds, Dr. Tancoo. I think the only person mentioned refunds, I have never said that. Let Tancoo tell me where he's finding the money for refunds. He's the Minister of Finance.
Asked for clarification this morning on the rationale for this apparent turnaround, Tancoo would only say, I think the Prime Minister's words are unambiguous. But still, for clarity's sake, we sent questions to Minister Tancoo via his communication department, where we again asked for the rationale for what seems to be a turnaround on refunds, how much money in property tax has been collected so far, and what happens to the money already paid by citizens. But the only response we got on behalf of Minister Tancoo said, the Prime Minister has spoken and her words are clear. However, further information on the process will be disclosed in due course. All attempts to speak with Minister Tancoo directly were unsuccessful. Now, commenting on these developments, former Prime Minister Stuart Young said he's observing this carefully as a citizen who also already paid his property tax. And this would be a good test case for a claim in the court for legitimate expectation of a refund. Economist Dr. Marlene Atz, meanwhile, does not believe the Finance Minister misspoke on the issue, but she said maybe his comment was premature. But from a financial and logistical standpoint, Dr. Atz believes the administrative cost and complexity of processing refunds at this scale may not be fiscally or operationally sensible. She said it goes beyond whether the state can afford it, but it must be considered if such a process is the best use of the ministry's staff and finances. Another economist, Dr. Ronald Ramkissoon, said while it is not unusual to get mixed messages from a new administration, he hopes sooner rather than later all ministers sing from the same hymn sheet. And for the public's sake, there is clearer and proper messaging going forward. And political scientist Dr. Bishnu Raghunath says people would feel slighted by this apparent turnaround. He said maybe down the line there may be a mechanism for refunds in some way, but he too wants the government to not have mixed messaging going forward.
This is one of the things that the experienced members of the government and the cabinet will have to kind of like rein in and ensure that members of cabinet as well as members of parliament act in the manner in which in a uniformed manner.
However, Dr. Raghunath said to the UNC administration's credit, it is so far keeping its intention of repealing property tax.